Welcome, traveler. Care to join me for a story?
Hello, and welcome to Hit Point Hall Season 4, A Death in the Family. I'm your funeral director, Ford Blue, and your guide for tonight's twisted tale. With me, we have our beautiful players and beloved family. Would you all like to take an opportunity to introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Madison Stromski. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Eris Prescott, who uses he, they pronouns.
Hi there, my name is Gracie Rosenberg. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be playing the lovely Lorelai Underwood, who uses she, her pronouns.
Hello, everybody. I'm Victoria. I am playing the lovely Udora Underwood Chamberlain, and she uses she, her pronouns. I use they, she pronouns.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm playing Laza Underwood, who uses she, her pronouns.
All right, folks, let's get started and crack on with our story. And we start on a more somber note, as these things often start. Lawson Underwood, the founder/CEO of Gopher Stores, Inc., and a true innovator of American retail, passed away Monday evening surrounded by family in his Briar home. He was 97 years old. Though he had been experiencing the effects of old age, Mr. Underwood remained ever present in the lives of those around him and made it his mission to make every moment count. I don't think he would have been ready to go until God himself came down to get him, and that's what he did, said his daughter, Alice Barr, now acting CEO of Gopher. God came down and got him. Wherever he is, though, we know very well he's still giving us an earful. Born in Little Rock, Arkansas, to Cecil and Blanche Underwood, Mr. Underwood came to Briar in 1953 and built not only his family home, but his empire, which would become the foundation for the modern supermarket. Taking Briar from a tiny town to one of the South's fastest-growing economic superpowers, Gopher now has over 4,000 locations in the U.S. and even some around the world. With only the mentality of good service and better prices, the Underwoods have truly dominated the country. Mr. Underwood is survived by his wife, Abilene, his 4 children, Alice, Udora, Samuel, and William, often quoted as saying, "As much as my children are my own, so is Briar. I have nursed it to health and thus cannot part from it. The Underwoods are Briar." The family will be conducting a private service on their estate in Briar. Liza.
Hi.
That is what's on the newspaper that's sitting in your passenger seat right now as you're driving up the old road. And you kind of recognize this area. It's like this swooping countryside that kind of breaks off from the rest of Briar. There was always this very isolated nature about the home. And can you give us a brief description of what she's wearing and what she looks like?
So, Laza Underwood is a 29-year-old woman. She looks her age, but is aged a lot by the expression she wears. Her lips are usually pursed, her eyebrows are furrowed. Most people will say that is because she's in her creative headspace, coming up with songs and such. But she's not a very happy person to be around. She has about chest length dyed blonde hair. It's very, very damaged and very, very unkempt. As you can see, her brunette roots are coming out. She is wearing all black, as traditional for a funeral, and her skirt is just almost too short.
It's
for
like
Southern.
skirting on risque.
Yeah, it's very much skirting on, like, she knows what she's doing, and she knows she'll get some looks about it, but she's not mad about it. She is, yeah, I mean, I looked up how long it would take her to get from Nashville, where she currently lives, to Arkansas in general, so it's about a 5-hour drive. So she got up about 6 a.m., and so it's clear that she got up at 6 a.m. For something that she really doesn't want to do, but know that she needs to do.
For sure. Yeah. And I think it's like, as you're like, your shitty little Honda Civic is like...
My 2006 red Honda Civic.
Yeah. It's like, it's debatably red at this point.
Debatably. Absolutely.
It's like climbing the driveway, and it's cutting through this like gently sloping hill. You see this estate you had once called familiar just rise from the dirt, and it is larger than you ever remembered, and the trees are like bowing over the roof and projecting shadows across your dashboard, with like a well-trimmed garden kind of flanked off to the side. And it all just makes this perfect frame for a statuesque brick manor. And despite it being built in the 60s, it betrays something older in itself, with the wraparound porch and a turret like standing against the sky. And it leaves something heavy in your gut just to look at it, as if the house could sit inside you and make you feel full. And that's what you think of as like you're pulling up through the driveway, and you see like all these cars that you haven't seen in years that are more expensive than yours, like parked along like this huge kind of open parking lot, more like a driveway, but
Parking lot.
yeah. And you see Dorothy, who's the family caretaker. She's got this like kind of short bob, you know, like nicely curled at the ends. She's always wearing like, she's very well dressed, but like not in a way that's not going to be like disruptive to her work. She wears like kind of flowy skirts and like a nice shirt, and you know, just generally she's going to dress like she's going to be moving a lot, except today, rather than like something a bit more muted and jewel tone, she's wearing just black like you are. Right. And you also see, who appears to be like on FaceTime or something, she's like holding the phone over her head like this, is your sister, Lorelai.
Half-sister.
Half-sister. The indifference is important to you then.
Very.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Yeah, you see this like as your car like starts to breach over the top of the hill. I feel like, Lorelai, and you can interject if you feel like this is incorrect. I feel like you like kind of are like doing this, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, we're just over here, and you're like trying to show the house off, and then you catch a glimpse of the car, and you're like, hold on, I gotta go. And then,
100%.
like the full like arm wave, like
Just the, oh my God.
do you like try and do the little run towards the car?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
She's
I run her over.
Yeah, like Dorothy sees you doing that. She's like, "What are you doing?
Liza's here. I gotta go.
Don't get yourself hit by a car."
I'm already moving.
I like come to like a very like sudden stop as I see this dumb woman running.
So the dumb woman you see running towards you, she's about, I'd put her at about 5'8". She'd probably top out closer to 5'10" in her little Louboutins. She has like about shoulder length, wavy, perfectly blonde hair, unlike Liza's bleach blonde. And she's in a long, slinky black dress. You could tell it's like probably like a nice satin or a silk.
Yeah.
She's got these little like pearl drop earrings and a nice like delicate silver necklace to match. And as soon as she sees you like driving up, she's like off the phone. She is right there at your car door. She's like, Liza, oh my God, it's so lovely to see
I need to know what the maneuver you're doing here. Are you doing
Oh.
like a over the window, or are you doing like how in her space are you?
I think she's probably like.
The window is up.
Yeah.
I think she probably has her hands like right where, if the window were to be rolled down, she has her hands right there, just like being like, oh.
Are you doing like a Liza?
Yes, 100%. She's knocking on the window, being like, oh my God. She is thrilled to see you.
Liza is not. I think
Lorelai can't tell.
Lorelai can't tell. I think Liza makes a motion to like scoot away from the window.
She does.
And so the car's in park now. So Liza gets out, looks at her. Hi.
And she like wraps her arms around you, and she can't tell that you don't want to hug her. And she's like, oh my God, it's been so long. I feel like I haven't seen you since the kids' table.
Listen, Lorelai.
Yeah. What? Hey.
Of course they would send you to get me.
Oh, well, I was already out on the phone. It made sense.
Yeah.
Lorelai, I need you to listen to me, okay?
All right.
We don't have to pretend to like each other.
What?
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do my little thing, and then I'm gonna go back to Nashville, okay?
What? I was excited. For that album?
Sorry?
Your album. Someone mentioned to me you were making an album.
Who?
I don't remember who. It was somebody. It may have been like, I don't think it was Dad. Was it?
Well,
I don't know.
I think about this point, it's when Dorothy approaches and she's like, it's good. It's very good to see you.
Thanks, Dorothy. I think Liza's very unnerved by Dorothy.
Yeah, she kind of gives you like what you muster as a sympathetic look, and she's like, I'm sorry, your father is inside. He's having
Jesus.
If you would like, I would we can take your car up to the along with the rest.
Yes,
and she
that
kind
would
of
be-
gestures to the fact that you are currently sitting in like the middle of the driveway.
Yeah, I mean, I just got out of the car because I was afraid to run over her.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We can have the driver valet it for you.
Yeah, Dorothy, that's fine. Thank
Yes,
you.
and she kind of gestures for your keys.
Oh, and Liza like, okay, wait 1 second. So Liza like reaches into the car, like pulls out the
How
keys.
much trash is on the floor?
A lot. There's a lot of like, we were talking about fast food like right before we came on. Like Liza knows fast food more than any of the people at this table. Liza, like it's littered with like McDonald's and like a few other like staples.
Yeah.
There's lots of like sheet music on the ground. So what Liza does is she like gets the keys and she's like, oh, wait 1 second. And she goes to the back and she takes out a guitar case and she like throws it over her shoulder, and like I guess a few other things like her purse or whatever. And she closes the door and then just,
Yeah.
thanks, Dorothy.
She definitely looks a little unsettled by how like nasty
Horrible
your
it
car
is.
But like she's clearly been trained very well because she's not like showing it very visibly.
Yeah. Oh, and I think it's important to mention that Dorothy definitely sees a comforter in the back of her car. Liza doesn't sleep there anymore, but it looks like there's definitely like a sleep setup with like a pillow and a comforter in the back.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go get Matt to pull the car in. And she like puts a hand on both of your shoulders and she's like, why don't you girls chat?
Yeah.
You can, Lorelai, why don't you take her inside to go see everybody?
Right. Okay, come here. And she tries to like hook her arm into yours.
I think her arm is like stiff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. What is it, something stiff?
just
like
a stiff arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mannequin.
She loops it anyway, and she just starts gabbing about Paris. She's like, oh my God, see, things have been so swamped back at the studio. I feel like I can barely only get back here. This is as she's walking. She just starts talking.
You
the
see
moment.
Liza's face just fall.
And
like,
she is looking everywhere but your face.
Yeah.
And just gabbing and be like, oh my God, there was this wonderful photographer I was just with. I think her name was Genevieve, and my God, she was just lovely.
I think
you would love her.
I think in the middle of all of this, Liza just goes, so he finally kicked the bucket, didn't he?
Yeah, I guess. I kind of thought he was going to live forever. I mean, he's kind of...
No, I thought he would die 6 months after I left.
Really? Out of shock, or...
No, God, no, not out of shock. He didn't even know my name. Just, he looked bad. He always looked bad.
Because he's an old man. I mean, he's grandpa, but, like, old men are only going to be so pretty.
Yeah. I think you guys are like approaching the door, and like Dorothy, who somehow miraculously manages to be everywhere the way she is. I think that's part of what adds to like what you find so unsettling about her.
Scary.
She's just there when you need her. Like her consistency is startling. She runs this house like the Navy.
Crazy.
You know.
Which is not how Liza's been living.
Yeah. And she opens the door for you all. And that's whenever you see your father, who was clearly in like animated conversation with Hank, talking about like, he was like, you know, there is a future in crypto. I've been, yeah.
I think there's like,
I've been talking to a few guys lately. Oh, sweetheart, it's so good to see you. And he like does like the side hug, the full side.
I think Liza like fully pushes him off.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you were going to be here already.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got the invitation, so.
You did text us, so we did kind of find out at the same time.
You don't text often.
Yeah, I figure like texting's more for the important stuff, you know. Usually I
Haven't gotten a call in 5 years, Pa.
Colin's so old hat, isn't it? You know, you're busy with your big music career, and you released that song. What was it? Mama's Broken Heart. That's what it was.
Daddy,
Yes, darling.
that's Carrie Underwood? And that was released, what, in 2006?
Dad, it's been a while.
I'm Liza Underwood, your firstborn.
You're mixing up your Underwood.
I think like Liza fully just turns around.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm sorry. It's an honest mistake.
Jesus, Paul.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm sorry. He's trying to follow you. And I think as this is happening, we round over to you, who is like also like exiting from like a separate hallway coming out the back. Like you have like Liza storming off in one direction, and then we have Udora, who like has like, I think her armful of like a few different little items. What are those items, and what do you look like?
So Udora is kind of a somewhat tall woman with, she's wearing a black, like, kind of frilly-necked dress, like floral blouse sort of situation, with like a frilly neck and a long black skirt. And she has a couple different items. She has a pocket watch that was owned by Lawson. It's like this ornate, beautiful pocket watch. She has this locket that she's kind of trying to pry open, but it's not opening very easily. So she's just kind of been fiddling with that. And she has kind of tucked, you can see it kind of tucked into her purse, because she just has like a fairly large black purse with her. You can see it tucked in is like the hilt of like an old antique gun with like this beautiful kind of like intricate gold lining to it,
like a
filigree,
like an old Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, like, and it's just a pistol, but it's still like this beautiful, like old looking but really well kept piece that she's got hold of.
Absolutely. And I think it's like you holding these artifacts like they're your babies.
Yes.
While Alice just walks out after you, and she's like, Udora, I just think it would be, it's what Daddy would want. He would want you to stay.
Yes, but you know how it all is every time that I'm here, and the way that everything tends to be with people. It's just I'm better on the outskirts. We've established this long in the past.
Yes, but today is different.
Is it though? Is it different? Because I just feel like every time that I come here, it's just, there's always that tension, and you know how Abilene gets. And
Well, we're not here for ourselves. We're here to honor Lawson. We're here, She puts a hand on your shoulder. She's like,
I cringe.
she gives you like this. She gives you this very like practiced smile. Like if you hadn't known her as long as you did, you would assume it's almost genuine. You know, like she's very good at this.
Yes.
And she's like, it's for Daddy. It's for all of us.
Right. Well,
Can you roll a quick D6 for me?
just 1d6?
Yeah, just
First roll.
First roll. 5. Not too bad.
Okay, then you just know this woman has not called her dad daddy since she was like 11.
I'm just kind of staring at her with just like a little bit of like whatever you say, I guess. But I'm not like, clearly this is affecting you in some way, but I'm not sure if I want to be a part of whatever's going down here.
She kind of drops it for a moment. She's like, listen, I just think that it would be good for you to be here right now. We need all the family we can get right now. Things are changing around here.
Things are changing.
I mean, I'm taking Dad's old job,
Right.
and everyone's coming in, going to expect their piece of the pie. So sometimes you need a level head. Someone who doesn't have skin in the game.
That's a fair point. I'll stay for a little bit longer. Definitely for the funeral, but I want to see the girls, of course. But all right.
Thank you. And at that, she kind of turns around and like Hank, who had kind of been like watching from like off to the side, she kind of gives him like a wave, like, I've got it, you know, like I've taken care of it.
Okay.
And you're left to your own devices in the room where Liza and Lorelai and Sam are having.
Can I make it to where I walk into Udora?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just, Jesus Christ, Daddy. Auntie E.
Hi, Liza. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, it's been going around, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, have fun controlling your siblings. I sure can't. I give.
Shortly after you say that, that's when Lorelai walks in, tailing Sam, and she's taken aback by the sight of Udora. She goes, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
Auntie E! Oh my God, it's so good to see you!" And she goes in for a hug.
She like stiffly pats your back a little bit. Like she doesn't cringe away from it, but she's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. You can tell like there's not like she's not quite sure what to do with her hands. But
Yeah.
And Lorelai doesn't notice. She's just like, "Oh, I missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you since I was like, yay, hi."
yeah, that does sometimes happen, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sam kind of runs a hand through his hair and he's like, well, damn, I did not expect to. I thought you would have been heading out by now.
Well,
You're heading out?
Oh, you should stay.
Don't worry, Alice already talked to me about it, so I'll be here for a little bit longer.
Good.
Thank God. I think every time, like she softened with Udora. Every time anyone else talks, it's just straight like back to hard. Like Liza just like.
Yeah.
It's just comical.
And as this tense conversation starts to get underway, we cut to a motorcycle ripping up the driveway. And it sounds like a rumble deep in the earth as it just tears into the gravel and just like goes vroom, vroom, vroom. And we see a man wearing like this slick black helmet and all the while wearing like a suit with a leather jacket over it. And can you tell us a bit about this man?
So, Eris Prescott has just been told and has been driving for 3 days from a different location to get here. Ever since he got the notice, he has not stopped driving. He arrives in a very long, worn leather coat that at once could have held a sense of richness and power, and it's dried and cracked and empty. inside. If you were looking at this man from afar, you are sure you would have seen just a void of shadow. When he enters the space, you feel a chill that saps out everything in you. When he removes the helmet, placing it very carefully and perfectly on the spike, you see a wisp of just longer, what used to be like auburn hair, just starting to grow gray, a streak of white in one, a very gaunt face, prominent cheekbones, and very sharp eyes, which you can't tell if they're blue or if they're silver. And he's not storming up here because he's not coming in rage, but he is walking quite quickly.
Yeah, Eris, I think as you see this house again for the first time, you think of the last moment that you ever interacted with Lawson. And you remember him pulling you aside in his office and saying, like, I've trained you for a long time.
I know.
Are you prepared to make the sacrifice that's needed to protect this company?
I did. I did it. I did everything you asked. Just promise me when I come back, you'll be here.
And he kind of considers that for a moment, and he's like, well, they can't get very far away from me.
No.
But
No, they never could.
But rest assured, and he kind of claps you on the shoulder in that way, like macho men tend to do, and he's like, rest assured, you will be taken care of for your
I will
troubles."
take care of the family for you while I'm gone. Make the decisions that they don't need to know about.
They don't got nothing they need to worry about.
Never have.
Not as long as they got me.
I'm
All
sure
right.
they will always have you.
Wah, wah.
Sorry.
Did you just say womp womp?
Did you just say womp womp?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wah, wah.
I'm sorry. This is the horror season, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It was needed. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think at that, he kind of like dusts off his pants, does like the old man stand up, and he's like, I would show you to your car, but I don't think that's a good choice right now, so
Are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling right as ever.
That's good. I'll be by my car and call me when it's time to come back.
Well, I'll certainly have your people call my people.
I don't have any people, Lawson. We talked about this.
It's
I
an
have no people.
So, son, it's an expression.
I'm not your child, but sure. I'll do that.
Just go downstairs.
I'm going downstairs now.
And we cut back to the house.
I think he remembers Lawson promising to call him back, and he thinks 3 days. He died, and no one's told me for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And he walks to the door, knowing that they're in there. And they knew. They all did. They knew where he was. And they didn't say a single thing. And I'm gonna open that door.
You open the door, and I would like to imagine that you guys have gotten like fierce discussion about whatever.
There's definitely loud voices.
Yeah,
There's serious yapping.
In the corridor, there is talking.
yeah. Like, there's no like true argument because everyone's like, it's too awkward to start anything. I think you'd be the only one that's willing to like push it in
Yeah,
that
I
direction.
think like she's trying to push, but because everyone else is so, like everyone is trying to keep the peace as much as possible, except Liza. So every time she tries, everyone is veering to the left. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And as the door just like creaks open, everyone just right towards you because no one else was expected today. And you see all the faces you recognize. You see Alice, and she has like this like she's a bit older than you remember her. She's got like this short kind of brownish blonde bob with like a gray streak, and Hank, who's always been kind of like this, like a handsome guy, but he's like a bit grayer, and he has some like
I did it better than he did.
yeah, he has some like trimmed facial hair, and Sam is always kind of just like a bit miserable, like
There's no backbone in that one.
yeah. Yeah, and you you also take account that Alice's children are here as well. Well, child Lucas is there as well with his wife and child. The one person that you can't seem to see amongst the crowd is Abilene. Mm-hmm. And you also notice Eudora.
That's right.
Who you haven't heard a lot about. You knew about her, obviously. You know about everything. But it's very rare to encounter her. And Alice just looks absolutely taken aback by your presence.
I open the door and I go, am I interrupting?
No. Alice immediately, like, turns it on. And she's like, no, of course not. Oh, my God. I haven't seen...
I'm so sorry about what happened. I heard a little while ago.
It's just so funny, because I didn't... Just nobody was expecting you to see you.
It was short notice, but I felt I should be here for the family. It seems like all of you, wow, it's a big, there's so many of you.
Uncle Eris? Jesus,
Liza.
I haven't seen you since I was
They're so big now.
10.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme. As she kind of mutters that under her breath, where only, like, you could hear it, you know?
I'm sure this is a lot of people. You all haven't been together since that one Christmas. Almost, oh God, 15 years ago now.
Well, don't let the cold in. Don't let it in. Come on.
Oh, sorry. And he shuts the door, but it's probably still cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This house is definitely a bit drafty. And she's like, well, it's a pleasure to see you. We're, you know...
I wish it were in better circumstances. I'm so sorry.
Don't we all? But, you know, he's in a better place now. He's with God, you know?
Yes.
And it's just... You know, it's just so funny. We haven't heard from you in an awful long time.
There were things with the business, things, you know, with... certain deals were made, and I had to make sure that things were going well in our other locations. So I moved off for a little while and wanted to keep myself separate for a bit. And I did very well. I'm an art curator now. I'm a painter.
Well, isn't that just wonderful? You should talk to Christy. She does art stuff downtown.
Oh yes, I've seen their work.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things about the family.
Yes.
Even from afar, I've checked in, made sure everyone's all right. But Lawson took those calls.
Well, isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting.
And there's just like this tension you could cut like a cord between you, because you know she knows, and she knows you know, and you both are like on... She immediately understands what you're trying to do.
I think I also know exactly what she wants. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
As that conversation is going on, when Liza says Uncle Eris, she turns to her and is like, "That's our uncle."
No.
Hello.
You're in a conversation. Oh, I guess you were too young. No, he's not. He's not our uncle. Actually, he was a friend of Papa.
Oh, okay. Because I just feel like I don't remember seeing much of it.
No, you wouldn't have. I can't remember exactly. It was like I was probably 8 or 10 or something.
Oh, so I was little.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
He used to be at a lot of like big wig events and such.
Yes, I think Hank steps in here now.
Yes.
Yes. He's like, yes. Eris is a family friend, and
I know.
yeah, no, it's more explaining to Lorelai than anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like not to you. It's
Yeah.
more for Lorelai's elaboration.
Okay.
You just happen to be like in the
Valid.
range of this conversation as well. You know?
Gotcha.
Of course he wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, he is a family friend.
Gotcha. Oh, well, all right. Okay.
Yes, and we are very happy to have you. We'll have Dorothy, and he like kind of pulls her over, and he's like,
Dorothy's here?
yeah, of course.
How is she doing?
And she approaches.
Oh, there you are.
She gestures for the coat, and she's like, I'm doing just fine, thank you.
You don't. I can do it myself. I'm not part of the family. You don't need to give me the treatment.
I'm taking your coat.
I prefer to
she
keep it,
insists.
actually, if I could. It's very cold in here.
she kind of gives you like this kind of half disapproving look, but she's like,
I'm sorry.
no, it's not like, it's only like a mild moment where it's like, you're clearly like, you're violating this unspoken rule of like, you take your coat off, you get comfortable in the house, like you don't act like you're about to turn around and leave. And she's like, all right. And she kind of steps away.
Thank you. So, how's everyone doing? I'm sure you might not remember me. It's been a long time. No, I'm Eris Prescott. I was one of Lawson's business advisors.
Oh, all right. Well, Lorelai, pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you too. You're all so big now.
Yeah, time.
And I heard you've been in Paris and you've been in
Nashville.
That's honestly doing
Yeah.
very well for yourself.
Sammy kind of jumps in. He's like, "Yeah, that's our girl. We're real proud of her," and kind of like gives you like a heart, like a
Sam,
slap on the side of the shoulder.
I wasn't asking you. Liza, how's it going? How's it going?
Liza gets. Oh my god.
Just the absolute sniper rifle movement with which you, like the precision with which you like take this guy down.
I think Liza's kind of shocked. It's going real well, actually. I'm at the
good.
Bluebird Cafe a lot.
Oh.
I get to talk to a lot of producers. It's real nice. It's real nice. I got some albums that I'm working on.
It's enough that you made it out there. I know it's a very difficult place just to even find something to do.
It's wonderful. I love it. And then like Liza looks at like the rest of the family, especially Alice, because Alice said some things to Liza before she left, and so like I love it is directed at them, especially the siblings.
Yeah, and she kind of like gives you like that sort of closed smile, like the oh, isn't that special? You know?
Oh, the bless your heart smile.
The blush your heart smile.
The bless your heart no. That's you got
blessed, bro.
your heart has been blessed.
Damn.
And she,
But yeah, thank you for asking. I really appreciate that.
That's good. And sorry, Sam, just haven't talked to any of these nieces in a while. Not nieces. Whatever we are in the family.
Nieces, if you're
Things.
my
Things
uncle?
and
A friend,
things and
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
If
Whatever you
Uncle
said, that
makes-
is a great
Friend.
I'm fine
If
with
Uncle makes it, does Uncle make it
Well,
easier?
I
I don't
called you
really
Uncle.
care.
you, as you're like kind of starting to get into this conversation, you kind of like feel this like in the back of your throat.
I guess she's like mid-sentence. She's like, sorry.
Did you want some water or something?
No, I think it's fine. I mean, I had a long flight to, friends to Arkansas.
Sit
It's
down.
a
We don't all
long
need to be
time.
standing up
Just-
here. You could definitely, and hi, Udora. We don't definitely need to keep standing. Why don't we all go? Did the procession happen?
Oh no! Alice kind of steps up ahead and she's like, "Oh no, hold on one moment."
I don't like the mysterious cough that I'm getting.
That's mysterious cough.
I don't like mysterious
you cough
cough
like
above
that?
table.
Cold.
Cold cough.
Maybe, yeah.
Roll
maybe
for
it's just
cold.
Roll for draft.
Roll for a draft.
Oh, I
I'm
don't.
just gonna say like what was-
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, you. As you say this, Udora. Alice,
One of the names.
Alice walks up and she's like, "No, the procession hasn't started yet. That's not until tomorrow.
Okay.
That's good.
We just have some time to, mingle, get to know each other. I suppose for those of us who haven't spoken in a while. So for today, it's mostly just family time. And then tomorrow, it's going to be, we wake up early, we get ourselves together. The funeral home is going to start coming in, prepping stuff out at the funerary plot. And then at about noon, we're going to go down, and that's going to be when the funeral is. And that will be just the ceremony. Memorial service, as Lorelai knows, that was earlier today, mostly just folks coming through, giving their well wishes. And then,
I didn't know that.
oh, sweetheart, don't worry, you were driving.
No, I thought everything was happening today. I thought I'd be out of here by morning.
No, sweetheart, it was, did your father not send you in the text? It's 2 days.
I got I got a text that said Lawson died, and I need to come here.
All right, well, see, it's gonna be 2 days.
Okay, fine. I mean, I just, I have stuff to do, right?
Well, I'm sure you can set aside some time for your grandfather.
It's only
Sure.
2 days.
Like he did for me?
Yes, in fact.
Only 2 days. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Just take it easy for a little bit.
Well, anyways, after that, after the funeral itself, we will have the reception, and it'll mostly just be family will be driving out downtown. We got a space rented out, and that should be nice, plenty of room for business partners and all that. But the funeral and burial will be a private affair, so you need not concern yourselves with going out into town.
all right.
Everyone understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. All right, I'll leave y'all to it. Just mingle around, talk. We got still some drinks over there. Dorothy, do we still have drinks from the memorial service earlier? And she's like, yes, ma'am, we do. And she's like, great, excellent. And of course, we have kitchen staff, so anything you need, it can be done.
All right.
Not Lorelai.
could
The L names are getting to me. Liza goes over, gets a glass, pours a tall glass of whiskey.
I could help get drinks if you need.
Dorothy, could I get a glass of white?
Yes, of course.
Thank you,
And
thank
she
you.
kind of scurries off to go help. And you guys are left to your own devices for a bit.
I think this is so stupid. She has. Sorry.
Yeah, you guys have some time, about like 10, 15 minutes to get your lay of the land and all that.
Where in the house are we right now? Are we still in the...
You guys are in the foyer, basically. Like in the foyer and kind of the drawing room area. Like
Okay.
this is all on just the first floor.
Okay.
How many floors are there?
There are 3. There have been some renovations done in the year since you've been gone, so you don't have it all memorized the way you have. Like you definitely notice that things are like frighteningly the same as they were before. You know, like the furniture is the same, and like the wallpaper is the same, and the photos are still the same. Like you would bet good money that no photo in this home has been updated in 5 years.
Right.
Frankly, it is miraculous that Abilene let anything be renovated at all.
Right.
Speaking of which, you still haven't seen her.
Right.
I would like to go see Abilene, just to give my condolences.
Yeah, where'd she... I would imagine she'd be around here somewhere. I mean, would she be... I don't know.
Abilene doesn't care.
I'm sure.
It's Papa, come on. I mean...
Like,
the least we
Liza's
can
sitting
do is-
down, she has a glass of whiskey, and she's trying to light a cigarette. Like, she's like...
Alice like walks over and she's like, I will take that. This is a no smoking house.
I really do remember Eris and Lawson smoking when I was a child.
I don't smoke. Sorry.
Well, another one of his dear business partners.
They would smoke in the study. We don't. Mother doesn't allow smoking in the foyer. It makes it smell bad.
We
Oh,
could
shit.
do that outside. We don't need to do that in here.
I mean, should we go hunt down Grandma?
That's a little violent. I
Well,
wouldn't like to hunt down any grandmothers.
like find her.
That's...
Like find her?
Yes.
Hunt her down?
Lorelai, sweetheart, don't overwhelm her.
Where is she?
All right.
I don't quite know. She's been kind of wandering around all day.
I'll,
Has she been...
She's been a bit listless.
Has she been chatting
Well,
much
her
with
husband,
anybody?
No, she's, like I said, she's kind of been keeping to herself mostly. Do you want to roll poke around?
I'll roll poke around.
To find
You know what I want?
Yes, I can do.
I wanna read Alice. And I want to use my salesman move, develop rapport.
Ooh.
Can I do that?
Yes.
Yay.
I'm also gonna roll for poking around.
Good juju. Good juju.
Can you please explain for the people what that move
Oh,
is?
yes, I absolutely did. That's very important. Yes, so I am using, I'm going to read a person, and so what develop rapport is, it says whenever you successfully read a person, you get +1 ongoing when reading them in the future. Ooh. I think Liza doesn't trust Alice. And I think her idea of developing a rapport is honestly like pushing their buttons. And so that exchange with Alice, honestly like lighting the cigarette, she definitely was trying to get a rise out of her to see how she'd react. And in that, I'm saying this, I got a 9. And in that she is looking for trying to unsettle her, and especially in concerns to Abilene, my grandmother.
Yeah.
What the hell's happening?
She's definitely not being dishonest, but she is being kind of obtrusive.
Right.
She is, she's definitely not being entirely upfront about why she is the way she is. She seems to be, implying that something else is probably going on, like through her tone. But you know she at least isn't lying about the way she's acting in some capacity. You just don't think that's the whole story.
Well, that's good enough for Liza to go find Abilene.
I got a 7.
Okay, so like a mixed success.
Is what happens.
Yeah, you so you start kind of like wandering around, and I imagine it's a very like practice, like kind of walk around the room, like you're just getting your bearings again, and you kind of see like a figure off in the corner, who is just standing there.
I'll kind of go over. I won't tell everybody else yet, just in case we accidentally startle her. But I'll kind of start quietly going over. Hello?
And you see Abilene kind of just facing the wall, kind of blankly.
Abilene, are you all right?
And you like get a better look at her, and there's like this deep pallor to her skin that it's like there's a darkness in her veins that are kind of like,
Abilene?
it's not like so bad that it's like, oh my god, hospital immediately, but it's like there's this very clear kind of discoloration and this sunkenness to the future.
Are you all right? Abilene.
I think Liza...
Do we all see this? Or
No,
just
only
Eris?
only Eris sees it right now.
Abilene, are you all right? Do you want to sit down?
And she kind of like turns very slowly and looks at you for a moment. And she goes like, I'm just fine.
Would you like some water?
I can take care of myself.
And
it's like this very hoarse voice.
Creepy old people.
And there's like,
I'm sorry.
I can't give you much more than that because you only got a mixed success, but like that's what you see in that moment. And she kind of begins to drift away from you.
No,
I'm sorry about everything.
And she kind of gives you a look and she's like, yeah. Me too.
I can fix things here. If you need anything else.
And her eyes kind of look glazed over as you're saying this. Like she's not fully there for a moment. And then she kind of shakes her head and goes, there ain't nothing you can fix here. And she walks away.
Do the rest of us see her leave the room?
I think I'm gonna go get some Advil or something.
I feel
is
like,
pretty-
especially like Udora.
Yeah,
I'll go back.
I think it's like you definitely like
see it.
you guys see her like walk past you all, and then like she rounds the corner to where you had just come from, to where like the bedrooms are. You know.
Then I think in that moment I would turn to Alice and be like, I think that you should check on her and make sure she lays down for a while. She didn't look very good.
Someone get her some tea.
I asked. She didn't want any help.
She's always
but
been a hard ass.
Well, there's a difference between being hard butt and dying. So I think we should
Is
probably.
she dying?
No, I didn't mean that. I meant.
I've had enough.
I was about to say.
I'm gonna go take care of her, Lorelai. Why don't you give them a tour of the renovations? While I go take care of this.
Right.
If you need anything,
I think she kind of like, she looks over her shoulder and sees her mother kind of hobbling away, and she's like, I think I've got it just fine, thank you. And she walks away very fast.
Ooh.
And as you all are left alone,
Oh, that's scary.
I think now is a great time to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Scary.
And we're back. And we open on Lorelai, who has been tasked with leading everyone around the house while Alice takes care of her mother.
Well, I mean, all right. So I guess this is the foyer. Did you know in French that actually means hearth? Fun fact. So yeah, if y'all just follow me this way, we'll peek our heads in the drawing room, and she just kind of like flits out the door, like, you know, just kind of leading the way in her little red heels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, you know, walk in being like, this is where we sit. I feel like this is probably where, if you're gonna smoke, this is where you might want to do it. I'd crack a window, though, because I feel like she'll have your head.
Thanks, La.
I wouldn't do that with Alice.
All right.
Putting that out there. And I'd say Udora at this point, she's kind of trailing like behind, like just sort of hanging out with the group, but not entirely like with you guys. And she's like looking at the pictures on the walls and things like
Can
that.
I clarify, who is this group?
It's mostly just you guys.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're the people who haven't been to the house.
Yeah,
for the renovations.
Yeah, like Christy and Lucas, they're here all the time because their
Right.
mom lives here. And you guys, Lorelai's here pretty often, despite the fact she lives in Paris. She still comes by a lot, I imagine. Eudora, you obviously don't live here at all, and Eris hasn't been here in like a decade. So it's mostly just you guys.
Right.
All right.
Like, even if you tried to get Thatcher, who's their kid, like interested in this at all, he would have nothing to do with it.
How old is? I don't know if we've talked about Lucas and
Lucas and Christy. Lucas and Christy are kind of mid-30s. They're very millennial.
and they're our cousin.
Yes, they're your cousins. Well, she's your your cousin-in-law, I should say,
Yes.
Christy.
Christy's cousin-in-law. Thatcher's how old?
He's like 15, 16.
Queen.
He is like a real like head kid. Like,
Love.
That's the nice way to put it. Like, he is very much so like the kind of kid that's like watching like really gory videos on his phone.
Oh.
Yeah. Like guy who would say like such nasty things in Fortnite, and he's also like on debate team.
Oh.
Just truly like the most volatile combination
no.
of teenager.
So they are not on this tour.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
Liza
Really just
thanks her lucky stars.
It's very much so like if you've ever seen the Chris Fleming bit where it's like him talking about like how like people like gentle parenting works now with children, where they're like, oh no, we just like Jax do whatever he wants. We just have to put him in his large hat before he goes out, and it's like them talking about how he can get away with murder. That's Thatcher.
Okay,
Like, Thatcher
cool.
could get away with murder.
I think Liza does not talk to Lucas and Christy,
Yeah.
and just follows you
Yeah.
for the tour.
All right. So yeah, she kind of finishes pointing things out in the living room, like maybe points out like an old family photo, be like, and there's Papa when he was like, I don't know, I think he's like 20 in this one. He kind of looks the same, honestly.
This, I would like to note for Eris specifically, this photo is not from when he was 20. It's from like the 80s.
And that speaks to Lorelai's perception of everything all the time, forever.
That's close enough.
All right. Then I guess let's stick our heads in the dining room. And she clip-clops down the way, and she's like, I feel like I haven't been sat in here properly since, like, I don't know, like 2 Christmases ago. Like, it's been a while. Things have been swamped at the
Oh
studio.
yeah,
and
that's a wow.
yeah, do you remember the kids type? They'd cram us in the corner despite having this huge table. It's kind of silly. It's a little silly. They fully could have sat us here.
I mean, it was a plastic table in the corner of the room.
I mean, they could have gotten us high chairs or something.
Fair enough.
And I think at that point, you guys kind of like stand up, start to move on. And Liza,
Oh God.
you feel this like tightness
Oh, no.
in your chest. And it feels compressing. Like if you moved just wrong, your bones would crunch. And then it passes. But there's still like this bit of heaviness that lingers there.
I think Liza has a physical, like noticeable reaction to that.
Are you
Liza, Liza, what's going on?
something wrong?
Can I use puzzle things out for this?
You can certainly try.
I can certainly. Oh. I can certainly try.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try it.
Nobody's gonna believe you.
And nobody will ever believe you.
Well, it's 7.
Oh, what's your
You
plus
get
reason?
one question.
Yes, that's important too. Oh, it's a 9. Ooh.
Yeah, you still get one question. But
Yes, I get one question. Ooh, okay. Oh, I mean, these are such like good questions, and I don't know which is. So puzzle things out.
What is this?
Yeah, what is this? Seems pretty standard.
Yeah.
it almost feels like something is stuck.
Oh,
Like that's the best way to describe it.
like
Like
in my chest.
yeah, like the way it feels whenever you've been like sick with like for a long time.
Like phlegm?
Yeah, like almost like phlegm, but like when your
like-
throat has been so scratched up for a long time that it starts to feel tight, you know? Like there's always something you perpetually can't get out of you.
What's going?
Keep going.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We could
She
sit down.
said she's
Nah,
all right.
I'm fine.
She said she's fine. Let's just go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Linger a little bit closer to her as we continue forward.
I'll also keep an eye out.
Yeah. Lorelai just leads the way into the kitchen, and she's like,
So me to you.
"No, it's funny." And as she kind of walks into the kitchen, she's fully doing like a little bit coming into the kitchen, the student ambassador walk. Like she's walking backwards. She's like, "We just got this brand new marble. They imported it from Italy. I think it's Camaro. No, that's not it. It's certainly not Camaro. I don't know, some sort of fancy quartz or whatever from Italy, and it's gorgeous. I think Grandma was not thrilled about it, but I think it's pretty. Yeah, you know, what you gonna do?
Yeah, you can definitely see more Alice's influence in the zone as like she started to get her hands more on the house where
Right.
she's trying to make it more like functional.
Metal fridge, like
Yeah.
shiny steel fridge.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning.
You could envision the conversation in which she's like, "Mom, we can't just keep using the same stuff from like the 1980s." And she's like, "Well, I don't understand because the fridge is perfectly good as it is." And like
It's not broke, don't fix it.
and it's like this whole argument they had, but
Right.
Alice won out in the end, you know.
Yeah, and just after kind of taking a lap around the counters, showing everybody around, she's like, I guess we'll leave Grandma alone in the bedroom.
For the best, dear.
Yeah, I guess so.
Where's all the fun stuff?
I mean, there's the rec room upstairs. I guess that's the most fun thing here. I mean,
No,
you know
all
Papa.
those old, all those old trinkets and stuff that he got into.
Oh,
You know?
I guess maybe the study or the rec room upstairs.
That would probably be more likely the library or the study.
Library. Okay. Well, I mean, there's the library on this floor. I mean,
Actually, could we go see that? Just quickly.
sure, why not?
It's still around.
I'm sure you
right?
would like it.
All right, well then let's go. And then Lorelai starts leading the way.
Yeah, as you go, I kind of look at Udora and I go, have you gotten a lot of things from here already? Or
Well, I made my initial sweep.
I know he
so there were some things that I spoke about with my father that
he
meant
told
a
me
lot
about
to me.
them. He wanted you to have them actually.
Oh, really?
I set aside them. We kind of hid them in the records so that nobody would try to bid on it.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
Was it everything you wanted?
Yeah, it's just a few little things. There was this when I was a child here, probably when I was around 10, and his going into his study. He showed me this beautiful gun, and I pull it out just a little bit.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's just, isn't the lining on it just exquisite? And I'm put the filigree into the light, but
Does it work?
That's
Well,
really
we don't
pretty.
really need
Anthony.
to
not really
test
the
that.
point of it. Yeah, it's
but-
more for decoration than
We don't
anything,
need to
but-
test it.
No.
No.
That's what the outside's for.
The what?
The outside.
You knew? Oh my goodness.
You can set up a little target.
I don't think I wouldn't.
I
wanna
don't think we need to
the
test.
It might be fragile.
Oh,
It's,
that's
it's
yes.
been around for
The gold is pretty.
generations.
Most of it was fake. Don't tell you, Dora, but a lot of it was fake.
Really? Oh,
And then Lorelai realizes and fixes her face.
It's. I'm glad it got to you eventually.
thank you.
You guys kind of start to look around, take the room in.
We're at the library.
Yeah, the library, and it's tall, grandiose bookshelves that go up to the ceiling, and it feels just overshadowing. It's that same feeling again, where it's the place is too big for you, and it has these knickknacks that are kind of tucked away in the shelves, and off to the side you also see these shelving units that are kind of pressed in where they have glass cases and all that. And Lorelai, as they begin to wander around, you kind of see something amongst the crowd that's almost like someone covering their eye like this.
like someone standing with the
Yeah,
rest of the group, or
kind of mixed amongst the group. And you see nobody else seems to see this thing.
I
Whatever.
assume Udora and I are standing
Yeah, you
close
guys-
to each other, so it's
Yeah, and it's as if positioned behind you, behind these two as they're talking, and there's this jaggedness to the figure, like bones trying to push against skin that have been broken, and there's this deep yellow, this deep yellow feathering that's pushed back across the head as you begin to examine closer, and it looks at you like this through its hand. And you see a mouth that's dribbled with black inkiness and an eye that's bloodshot.
Lorelai screams. She sees as soon as she registers it standing behind them, she screams.
What's wrong?
There's a thing and it was standing
where?
behind them and it was
Where?
weird and it had this stuff coming
My
out of his
hand
mouth.
slowly
and
goes to my
and
side.
there was this thing happening with its eye. And,
What thing?
Where, I mean, turn around. Look, it's right. It was right there.
It's not there
Yeah, it's
anymore.
not there.
Oh,
Maybe you should sit down.
It's been a stressful week,
It's been.
sweetheart.
maybe it's the jet
You
lag.
feel another cough coming on.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
You know
maybe
that- you know that
maybe I should.
You know that idea I had about sitting? We're gonna do that now.
Okay. Right. I think that's wise.
Funeral director, if I may ask.
Yes.
Is this the library?
This is the library.
So, nothing's going to happen just yet. But that chill you feel around him completely eviscerates, and it's just warmth in this room. Where there is emptiness, the one place the void cannot continue to eat itself is here.
Oh.
Let's sit you down, actually. How about we all just sit here for a little bit? And you guys notice that even though Lorelai's not doing the tour anymore, Eris knows exactly where everything is in this room.
I assume there are like some old like banjos and like musical instruments
there's
kind
some,
of
like,
in around the area.
There's
And
some
I think
pretty neat stuff in here.
Yeah.
Like, this is a pretty big library for like a personal home.
yeah, I think as like a musician, I think Liza really loved those instruments, and I think she's not going to be not gentle with them, but she definitely wasn't allowed to touch them as a kid. So she just kind of goes up and like looks at these beautiful like old instruments more closely.
Can I, like, I feel like Eudora has spent also, like, of the time that she's spent in this house, this is the room that she gravitated towards the
Yeah.
most, given all the knickknacks and just loving books and that kind of aspect. Can she just poke around a little bit, just see if there's anything interesting?
Absolutely. Eris, you kind of start to look around for what you're here for, really. And you are like looking through the drawers. Like, you're very precise about it. You're not like being rough, but you don't really find much of what you're looking for. But you also feel like gravity pushing down on you a bit. There's something heavy in the atmosphere here.
Definitely it feels different than it should be, and that kind of unnerves him a bit.
Yeah.
Because this isn't how he made this room to be.
Yeah, there's something here.
There's something here that should not be in my room.
Yeah. And you sense it in you. It feels like something is looking over your shoulder, judging you.
I'll kind of shut the drawer, and I'll kind of glance to see if the chessboard is still there,
It is.
and see if when I move over it gets heavier or less.
It feels about the same, really.
I'll take one of the pieces and pocket it.
All right. How would you get?
I got a 7.
Okay. You do find one pretty decent little item. You find a pen.
Nice.
Yeah, you find like this very nice gold pen, and it has like Lawson's name inscribed on it. And you pocket it.
I'll tuck that in my purse.
And that's around the time whenever Alice kind of comes in and she's like, there you all are. I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting. We're actually going to do dinner now because it's getting a bit late for Mom. So we're going to go ahead and just do dinner and wrap up for the night.
Okay.
Yeah, so if y'all just will come with me to the dining room. And you guys are led away.
As we're walking, can I roll to puzzle things out as to what, like, if I would have known, like, if I could have figured out, like, hey, what on God's green earth was that thing I just saw? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Big money, no whammies. Do it. That's an 8.
Oh.
Wait, that's an 8. And then I have Lorelai has a -1 to her reason rolls. So that would be a flat 7.
All right, you get one question.
I guess. Oh, no, I got to look at the list of questions.
What is it?
Yeah, probably. Ooh. What is this? Yeah.
You couldn't even begin to fathom.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Great.
It looked almost bird-like in appearance, like at the head, where it had like, when you remember it, it has like this great gaping mouth that's almost like a beak.
Oh.
But there was a darkness inside of it. That's where like the dribbling ink appearance came out. And you also recall that like what was covering its eye wasn't an arm, but it was more like a wing.
Interesting.
But the bottom half of it was more akin to something almost more human, but like it's as if you tried to shove bones into a bag.
Ooh.
Like you just took a bunch of broken bones and just shoved them into a human-shaped flesh.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think Liza, not knowing that, is going to scare Lorelai Like, Liza's gonna walk up and just quickly go, "Rah!"
Oh my God, Liza, you can't keep doing that. I can't.
What'd you see?
I was like this bird thing. It was like,
A bird?
yeah, no, it was. I mean, it had this. I'm not joking, Liza. I wouldn't lie to you about this. I wouldn't have freaked out if I didn't see something.
Listen.
It was this big. It was a bird on top. And it had like this wing over its head, and it was big. It was wide open, and it had this nasty goo coming out of its mouth, and I couldn't see.
Listen.
What?
I believe you.
Okay.
But I just, listen. It's been a long day for all of us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think you need to worry your pretty little head over it. She's definitely being condescending here.
She doesn't register it.
Yeah, and I think Liza even just like whoops her on the nose and keeps walking.
I believe you, if that's condolence.
You all sit down at the table. Abilene is already sitting at the head of the table, in her usual spot, and there is no one taking up the head anymore. You all sit down. It seems like Lucas, Christy, and Thatcher had already taken their seats by this point. You guys are the last ones there. And food has basically already been, is going to be served. Like, they're already off to the side bringing it in. So, they were clearly prepared for this eventuality of, having to do dinner early for whatever reason that may be. And you guys go to sit down, and there's just this thickness that's, lingering. It's dark and heavy in the room. And it's mostly just kind of moody lighting with some candles off to the side. Not overly dramatic, but tasteful, you know?
About what time of day is it?
5:30. It's a bit early for dinner, but it's for an older woman. So
Old people dinner time.
yeah, can you really complain, you know?
Perfect for us.
I think Liza, having the whiskey hit her, sits down, and she's a lot happier now that she's got some alcohol in her, and she's like, well, it is so good to see you all after all this time. And she glares at Alice.
It's always great to see you, sweetheart. You know, we're just happy you're home. You know, you should tell us a bit more about what you're doing out there in Nashville. You know, I just know that everybody would be really interested to hear about, you know, what your music career looks like.
I do actually really want to hear the album. I was actually thinking about it the other day.
Well, it's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm at the Bluebird Cafe actually. You know, I'm just really proud of where I got despite all of the adversity I got.
What kind of adversity do you mean?
Oh.
I'm sure it's very challenging, but...
Oh, no. I mean, you know, I came home after high school, and I was working on my albums, and I was coming here all the time. And you know, no one really seemed to believe in me, you know? And I remember you telling me that I should just go get a job.
Yes, I do recall.
I mean, musician is a job, Auntie Alice.
I don't think I said it quite that way. I think I said it more I think, you know, it's that time in your life where you got to start thinking about, what your long-term career looks like. Those things, you know...
That can be a long-term career.
Well, yes, of course, but, you know, nothing was really set in stone at that point, and we're more just trying to, you know... We want to look out for you. We want to make sure that you get to where you need to go.
Is that why y'all haven't talked to me in 5 years?
Well, it just seemed like you were far happier on your own.
I'm sure you would think that, yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is communication is a two-way street, sweetheart.
She takes a bite of her food.
I think Lorelai's just kind of at a loss for words.
And
She's
Sam says nothing.
yeah, Sam's
Sam kind of definitely like looks towards you and is like debating between like his sister and his daughter.
Oh no.
Like of like which horse am I backing in this race?
Yikes.
Oh.
Like cuz he knows that no matter what he picks, he's not going to win, you know?
That's fair.
And Udora, kind of like as you're like taking everything in like the depth of the candlelight, you feel you haven't drank a drop today, have you?
No.
But you feel lightheaded. Like there's a dizziness as you're like sitting at the table. It feels like you can hardly hold your head up at some points. And as you're looking into like this like glass of water, like I imagine it's like you're kind of leaned over and there's this glass of water sitting next to you. You see almost like the refracted vision of something lording over you.
Great.
Great.
I'm just gonna kind of blink a few times and see if it goes away.
You blink a few times waiting for it to go away, and you kind of just hear this soft like whoosh as it leaves, and there's this chill that runs down your spine. You know, as a child, you often heard that chills down your spine were rabbits running across your grave in the future.
Oh.
And
Southernisms.
and you imagine that it must feel something like that.
Right. I just take a sip of water and try and clear my mind of it.
Well, Eris, you know,
Yes.
why don't you tell us a bit about what you've been up to? Because I know you mentioned you've been doing art curation. That must be pretty
Yes,
interesting.
I used to paint in my free time before I went into the business, and I was gone for so long that I figured why not try making something of it. And shockingly, I got very lucky, and people started liking my work, and I figured why not make something of it. I made a couple connections, and I met a few friends.
You look over and Lawson's corpse is there.
I'm sorry.
But there's like that same jaggedness that Lorelei described to it. That sickening twistedness. And it looks up at you, not with the eyes of a human, but with something more aware, something more primal.
Is Eris the only one to see that?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
And
I'm sorry. I came back. I did what you said.
Eris, are you
Uncle
are you
Eris.
all right?
Something's not right here.
Eris, can someone, Dorothy, can you get him some water? Can
No.
someone get him some
Stop
water?
moving.
What's going on?
Orla, shut
Stop.
up.
Eris.
Stop. I'm trying to figure it out.
You sit here, and with all your might, you try to comprehend something that refuses to be understood. And you feel this.
I need to leave.
No, what?
I'm going to the library.
Eris, Alice starts to get up, and you also
Alice,
hear
don't
behind
touch me.
you just this, like, from Aveline, just.
What?
And just like, she keeps hacking, like, and just this, like, thick, viscous substance.
I'm kind of like, you hear the chair.
Dispenses from her throat and onto her neck, and Alice is like, okay.
Someone call the doctor.
I think Alice was like starting to like starts to like grab her phone to like call the doctor, and Aveline just stands up calmly, and she goes, "I think it's time for me to go to bed."
Grandma, you need to go to the doctor.
No.
Yeah, no, Grandma, we need
She
to
looks
make sure
at-
you're
We're
taken
gonna call
care of.
someone.
She
Okay.
looks at you very firmly, and she's like, "There's nothing you can do for me."
Your husband just died. We are not losing you in the same day.
She's right.
In the same week.
I will go to the doctor in the morning.
Thank you.
I tried. I tried.
I'm going to the library. If you need me, I'll be spending the night there. I'm sorry.
And for the rest of the night, you guys are kind of left to your own devices to kind of like do whatever it is you may do. You know, I think as the night winds to a close, you all go to like separate rooms. Udora, I imagine you choose to stay just based on the fact that something's going on.
Something's going on. Yeah, I was planning on leaving that night, but I think with everything kind of the way that it is, I don't trust Alice to handle the situation properly. I don't trust everyone to kind of keep things like level. So.
Yeah. It's very much so like Alice like kind of trying to manage things while Hank is like doing like damage control really. She's trying to smooth things over while he does like the like he's like contacting the doctor for going in the morning and all this. And you hear this like as you're wandering around going to take care of things. And you hear it through the wall, like through the floor as you're like going to bed. Are you sleeping in the library?
I'm probably not going to sleep. I'm going to start like reading through his papers, trying to find out why.
Okay. You guys, I think everyone kind of like goes off their separate ways for the night after the kind of chaos of dinner clearly has like taken its toll. And not to mention, y'all haven't been feeling so hot yourselves.
This whole family's a mess.
Like everyone's kind of worse for wear. Like everyone looks a little bit pale, a little bit sickly. You have to imagine it's just the stress of the day, maybe. But you are like, let's not take any chances with it. Let's just go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
And when you dream, and I include you in this.
Bruh. Bruh. Sorry.
And when you dream, you imagine heavy soil. You dream of being buried alive. You dream of your lungs being filled with dirt and worms. You dream of something that wants you to be there. And it feels like you just keep digging and there's dirt underneath your nails to the point where it begins to peel back. And it feels like there's like something collapsed around you. Your bones, your lungs, your body, the very earth itself has collapsed in on you, and you're just trying to pry your way free. And it is only then when you notice your hands are not your own. They are more grizzled. They are more haggard. They are calloused and suggest desperation. That suggests work you haven't done.
He's not dead.
In that moment, you are awoken by something that is a sickening subterranean growl, and it comes straight from the depths of the earth and feels like it might rip you apart as you are ripped from sleep into wakefulness. And you know something is wrong. And you hear Alice screaming down the hallway.
Do we go?
Yeah.
Do we go?
I'm going to run.
Do we go?
I'm going to run. I have to run.
I think.
Yeah, I go like in whatever night dress that I'm wearing and just like pull open the door and run towards
Yeah,
it.
I assume Lorelai and Liza are room next to each other.
Probably.
So I think we probably rush out at about the same time and just like.
I think I probably would have run to your room first. I've been like, Liza, you heard that too, right?
Yes, we're going. We're going.
All right, let's go.
Sprinting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we're all moving to the sound of the scream.
Yeah. It is, you all run down like from upstairs to the master bedroom. It is hard. you feel worse than you did when you went to sleep.
I feel like Liza is like actively like
Yeah,
coughing.
like you are actively coughing. Like you have to stop and you like bend over to like cough into your sleeve, and there is like that inky black substance on your sleeve.
Ew!
Is it like what I saw earlier, like coming out
Yep.
of the birth? Liza, I kind of pull Liza aside, or like I kind of lean over there. I'm like,
Just go,
okay.
keep moving.
oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I try and grab her by the
Liza,
hand
like,
and I drag
is
her.
like if she thinks about it for a second, like she's going to collapse. So she is like shaking and running.
Yeah. The bedroom door is just flung wide open, and across the walls you see this like dark chalky substance, like almost like just powdering the walls, just coating them. Like it hangs in the air. To step into the room is to feel the thickness of earth itself. It is stale. And there is like this, like, you see a pool of that same gunk all across the floor. And there you see Abilene, dead, covered in that same fluid dripping down from her mouth, exactly like you saw from the creature. And you notice for the first time, it is black, pitch black.
I feel
And Alice, Hank, Sam, they're all standing there just absolutely aghast. And she's like, she is actively on the phone with 911.
Can I check? Like, I'm assuming we all like coughed up some of this
we
gunk.
all
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
puzzle things out?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can I see if it's the same color, like what we
Yes.
coughed up?
Yeah.
You don't need to roll a check for that. You can see it. You understand. That is the same as what you have in you right now.
I think like Liza actually like actively has like a trail like down.
Yeah, it's
because
like
if it's
kind of dribbling down your.
I got a 7 to puzzle things out.
I want to roll too.
Yeah.
Liza, this is the bird. The bird.
You cough
Liza.
again.
Liza, this is what I was telling you about with the bird thing. Something, I'm telling you, I don't know a lot, but something isn't right.
What did you get?
Got a 13.
We're gonna address this first.
I got 6. Don't worry.
What's
about
your
me.
question for puzzle things
For
out?
puzzle things out. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a bit of a weird one, so you have to roll with me on it. But I'm going to ask who's in control here.
Ooh.
That's a very Eris question to ask.
You have a feeling that whatever is going on here is beyond you. It is beyond. It goes back to the very question of what does it mean for something to be aware? What does it mean for something to know, even if it isn't human? If you recall in the dining room, what does it mean to, how you say, what does it mean to need something?
Ooh.
It's going, whatever is doing this doesn't seem to be doing it without purpose. And it's happening to this house, to you. You're a man who's very good at puzzles. But this is the one puzzle that just seems to be out of your reach.
I don't like that one bit.
Okay. So I believe I get 3.
You can ask 3 questions, or you can get a lore point.
I think I'm just gonna take the lore point.
You want the lore point?
I want the lore point. I don't think I can gather anything else from what I see here. So
No.
That's actually fair.
Can I roll to, I'd like to spend my hold and roll to poke around, just to see if, would I have seen the inside of this bedroom before? Would I have like a
Yes.
general, I would have a general idea of what it looks like. So I'm looking for anything that looks out of place, out of the ordinary, other than the ungodly amounts of goop and just substances.
Goop and
I-
viscera.
Oh God, that's an unpleasant sentence. That is that's a 5 plus my 1 hold. With a hold, do I add that to my roll?
Yes.
Okay, so that's That makes it a 6. Then my +1 luck, that's a 7.
Okay. And what move was that?
It was poke around.
Poke
looking
around.
for what's out of place, other
Okay.
than goo and viscera.
You you start to kind of like poke around, kind of look for something that mayhaps you had missed, and you see amongst like just wedged in there, like beneath the puddle ever so slightly, you reach down to pull it out, and it is a muddied yellow feather.
Oh. And I recognize it as from the thing.
Yeah.
You touched that?
I think Lorelai gags a little bit as she pulls it out.
I think everyone's gagging.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's the plot. We're all gagging.
yeah.
And
Can I do? Sorry.
yeah.
And I guess I kind of pull it out and I'm like, y'all, I found this. I think it's a feather.
What the?
What do you want to roll?
I want to use one of my salesman moves. It's called "May I Have Your Attention, Please?" And it's you are able to convince a crowd of folks to do something you like. If you miss the roll, however, they don't take kindly to your interference and become hostile. I want to say we need to get out of here.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to make you roll with some disadvantage on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because it's going to take a lot to just be like, get out, abandon the
Well, not like get out, but like remove ourselves from like I
remove
think,
ourselves from the room?
Yeah, I think Liza is like
Okay.
it is doing no one good to stare and like prod this dead body full of goop, and like she wants everyone to get out of the.
Okay, yeah. I'll still make you roll with disadvantage just
And-
for the sheer fact that people are like obviously going to be like,
Is that just 1d6?
yeah, basically you'll just roll an extra d6.
Here, an extra d6,
And you'll
take
take-
the lower two.
Yeah, take the lower two.
Okay.
Hey guys,
People are
I don't
gonna
like
not
this
like
at
me.
all.
All 5s.
3 5s, 10.
What's your plus? What's your modifier? What's your modifier?
It doesn't have a mod.
Oh, okay.
I don't
it's not
have
a roll plus.
It's not like a
Oh.
thing. It's just
Gotcha.
it just says to roll.
Oh, okay.
It's
You
very
tell them.
But yeah, so that's a 10.
Yeah, I think you go like,
And this is the first time this family has listened to me.
yeah, you're like, it is time. You're like, everybody out, like clear
Yeah,
out.
get out. Like
Yeah,
we can't be in here.
yeah, and I think even like Alice is like, yes, everybody out. I need to take care of this. And even she kind of coughs a little as she does this.
I have to read her.
Yeah.
I have to read.
Oh yeah.
Because I have +1 to my read with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
That's not great.
You have +1.
Yeah, plus what is this? Passion? Okay. 6, 7, 8.
Woo.
She's truly frightened right now. Truly terrified.
But does she know something that we don't?
I think she knew that her mom was kind of sick, but I don't think she thought it would end this way. I think Alice is being perfectly pure in her intention in this moment.
Huh, okay.
And I think there is a realization that kind of washes over you all as you kind of stand out of the room. And it is this thought that you're all going to die. You,
Here in this house?
I mean, look at the circumstances. If you all think about it, you've seen the gunk that was in your throat. You've seen the way you coughed the same as her. You've seen things that you can't explain. And as the night draws to a grisly close, Abeline's stained corpse collected off the floor, with Alice and her brothers not far behind, you all come to a collective and uncomfortable realization. You recognize the symptoms she had before her death in yourselves now, and they only grow meaner and hungrier. Whatever has taken hold of this house refuses to let go. And should you fail, it will take you with it. Folks, that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. You can find us on Instagram at HitPointHall. Also, we'd love to take the time to shout out the Arkansas branch of the organization, Gay for Good. If you have time, please take a moment to visit their website, gayforgood.org/Arkansas. They're wonderful people who are doing so much for the queer community in Arkansas. And as a queer Arkansan, I just want to put some attention on them. We also were really lucky to get to talk to them over the phone. And Eric's a really nice man who deserves some shouts out. So we would love to recognize that. Again, that is gayforgood.org/Arkansas. Again, thank you so much. And tune in next time as the players desperately save themselves or die trying. Good night!
Ah!